Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings, aka Zerofats, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. Hope everybody's doing amazing out there. Coming at you, this is State of Zero episode 50. This is my 50th State of Zero episode. I can't believe I've done 50 of these things. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hope you guys are doing great out there, man. Today is my 41st birthday. What's up, Jarson? What's going on? It's my 41st birthday, man. This is the 41st year I've been on this planet. I feel old, man. I'm an old cat. But I don't feel too bad though. I feel kind of good. It was a crazy, awesome day today, man. I turned 41 today. We closed on a house today. Got a house today, turned 41 today, bought a house today with all independent income. Right, all independent income. Thanks, Jarson. All independent income, man. So to me, it was like better than just getting a house because, you know, it was like a real victory, you know what I'm saying? It just felt like a good accomplishment to be able to do that with, you know, all money that I made independently, self-made, being able to line that up and put that together. It was a lot of work, man. It was a few years of hard work to make that happen, and it all came to fruition today, man. So really cool. First house I ever bought. So but I closed on it today, man. It was my birthday. I felt really good, man. And I've been kind of on vacation, man. Someone asked me if I was going camping on vacation. And I said, yeah, I'm going camping on my couch. I'm going camping on my couch, man. Yeah, but no, we've just been kind of hanging out at the house. But yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of work. I haven't been doing a lot of internet marketing stuff. But I had a group coaching call tonight, so I wanted to, you know, just kind of do a live stream and hang out with everybody for a minute and just talk about my day. Yeah, but the birthday's been cool, man, and I had a good time. My kids, man, they made me some really cool presents. You know, they made me this really cool little. I wish I had it. I'd show you guys. They made me some. They made me like this really cool. My son made me this little shadow box with a little paper cutout rock band in there. It was really cool, man. But yeah, it was great, man. It was a great day. Had cupcakes. And how do you go wrong with cupcakes? Had cupcakes, bought a house. Good day. It was a good day, man. It was pretty cool. Just got done with the group coaching call with everybody, and just thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit, man. You know, it's a funny thing, man. You know, when you're doing entrepreneurship, it's kind of a funny thing. I had a launch, you know, the one before last. It's my most successful launch of all time. It's done over $16,000 in revenue. Now my last launch that I just did was my weakest launch of all time, right? It hasn't even cleared $2,000 in revenue, right? So it's like failures and successes, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get punched in the mouth, you know? And it's peaks and valleys. And you know, what I've learned is like I don't get too excited about the highs and I don't get too upset about the lows. And I think that's a good lesson for everybody. You know, you kind of take it all in stride and you kind of move on, man. You know, now you guys might see me bragging about the highs on the internet, but you got to understand it's not my natural personality to brag about a bunch of stuff. But as a marketer, you have to brag a little bit, or nobody knows. Nobody knows. If you don't put yourself up on a pedestal a little bit, nobody knows. And me personally, I use it all. I talk about my successes and I talk about my failures. And I talk about how I'm going to adapt to fix my failures, right? Because I think there's stuff in there for everybody. I think all that stuff helps people. If I talk about my successes, maybe that inspires you. If I talk about my failures and how I plan to fix those failures, maybe that helps you. Maybe that helps you fix your failures, and maybe that helps you move up a level. And, you know, I talk about it all. You know, you don't hear a lot of marketers talking about it all. A lot of marketers, they're kind of like gamblers, you know? You only hear them talking about when they win. You don't hear them talking about when they lose. That's how gamblers do it, you know? But that's not really how I see it, man. You know, I'll talk about it all because I think all of it is helpful to you guys. So, but the best thing I can tell you about it, and I think this is the really important takeaway, is, man, don't get too excited about your highs. I mean, pat yourself on the back and keep on moving forward. And don't get too bummed out about the lows, man, because, you know, I was just talking to my group coaching class today about membership programs. And, you know, I believe membership programs to be kind of the backbone of my online business. It's the foundation. It's what really gives it a lot of strength. And, you know, you're going to have critical events with your business online, you know. Now, if I didn't have a membership program in place, if I didn't have systems in place to protect me and to protect my business, if all I did was launch products last month, I mean, launch levels, that could have been a critical event. I mean, that could have been a bad situation for me. It was not a very good launch. It was a great product, but the launch just didn't go the way I wanted it to. And, you know, without a strong foundation in place for my business, you know, situations like that it's a critical event. It can mess your business up. So it's good to have like a little membership program or, you know, something in place to kind of have a solid foundation for your business. And, you know, maybe that's a reason why it's easier for me to be like, yeah, you know, I don't get too excited about successes. I don't get too bummed out about failures. Maybe that's why, but that's the truth. I mean, I don't think you should get too bummed out about your failures or your whatever, you learning, right? You're not always gonna hit it out of the park. It's not always going to be, you know, insane. I remember I launched Membership Dawns last year, and at that time when I launched that program, it was the biggest launch I'd ever had. It was really awesome. It was my first Deal of the Day award, and it just felt really awesome to hit that level. And then, you know, I remember a couple months ago I launched Free Funnels, and it like doubled that, right? So in my mind, like both of those were like home runs. I mean, they were just awesome. And in my mind, when I hit both of those, I kind of went up a level in my mind, you know. So, and it was cool, but, you know, you can't let yourself get too carried away with the success because, you know, you're gonna have your off ones too, man. You're not always gonna hit it out of the park. It's not always gonna be a home run. You know, I think it's just important to just remember, you know, hey, look, man, I'm not gonna get too crazy. I'm gonna stay on a solid, steady path, you know. And look, guys, you know, I just bought a house today with the income that I make online, okay? I don't work for nobody. I've been doing this for a while, and I just bought a house today. And you guys, that means that the bank has trust in me to pay them back with what I do online, all right? So it's a huge victory for me, you guys. So when I'm talking to you right now, I want you to know I talk like a layman. I mean, I talk like a blue-collar guy. And maybe you think, man, this cat don't know what he's talking about. But I promise you, I do come from a blue-collar background, but I know exactly what I'm talking about. You can take the stuff I tell you, and you can take it to the bank. All right? And that's just the way it is. I minimize my risk. I build a strong foundation for my businesses. And I don't get myself caught on no limb with critical events. All right? And you don't want to do that either. You want to, you know, put yourself a little membership program together to protect you if you're going to launch products, all right? You know, whatever you're doing, man, make sure you got a strong foundation in place to protect yourself, all right? It's important. Big Lee Murray in the house. But, my man. But yeah, critical events, man. Critical events. You got to protect yourself from critical events. Little membership program will do that, you know? So I can have, like I said, guys, I can have a really big, crazy, successful product launch one month, and then the next month Maybe I missed on my marketing, my research. Maybe I didn't research good enough, man. Maybe a case study on launching wasn't the right thing. Maybe, obviously the audience wasn't as receptive to it as I wanted them to be. Maybe it was my sales letter, I'll tell you guys what I did to adjust that. But first thing I'll tell you is I don't freak out about it because I got a foundation. I got a membership site in place for my business. And it's not going to be the end of the world if the product launches don't always win. I'll tell you guys some of the things I did when that failure happened. And I do consider that a critical event. It was a critical event, man. I mean, you go from a $16,000 launch down to like a $1,600 launch. That's a critical event, man. That's not very good. I haven't had a launch that bad for a long time. So what do you do when a bad thing happens? What do you do when you fail? Well, I'll tell you what I did, okay? First, I examined all my processes. I looked at what I changed from my last launch. I looked at what I did differently. Also, what I did was I reached out to Big Lee Murray says it's happened to him more than once, and he's a big dude, man. I look up to Lee Murray. So what I did was I examined all my processes, you guys. What did I change from my last launch? What did I do differently this time around? Also, I reached out to my top 3 affiliates, and I asked them their opinions on it. What did they think about what happened? Lee Murray was one of them. I reached out to him and asked him what he thought as well. So I reach out to the people I respect and ask them their opinions on it, right? That's another thing that I did. But what I kind of determined was, number one, I think that the public perception is, what I was teaching is hard. Product launching is kind of hard, right? And I think that in my sales video, I didn't really convey that as exciting or easy. I conveyed it as kind of really hard. And I think in my sales video, I kind of scared people and made them think, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is too hard for me. So I think that there's a little of that going on there. And I also think that at the end of the day, man, I was burnt out, man. I was burnt out. I launched Affiliate Command. Then I came back and I launched Free Funnels within 30 days. Then I came back and launched launch levels within 2 or 3 weeks after the other one. So I was burnt out, man. And I think that was reflected in the sales video, and I think that was reflected in everything. So, and I mean, I think the lesson I took away from it was, dude, you got to take some days off, man. You can't just work every freaking day. That's insane. I'm the kind of dude, I'll think I can just work every single day and just I'm not stoppable, I'm like Superman or something, and I'm not, man. I'm not. My efficiency goes down. What I'm able to do goes down. I burn more bridges. I tell more people to fuck off. I make customers mad. So I just do a bunch of stupid stuff that I shouldn't do, man. And it's just about, hey, dude, take your weekends off. Take a few days off. I mean, dude, guys, I swear to God, on the last day of that launch, I was insane. I was just crazy. My mind was everywhere. The next day, I was glad to be done with it. Yeah, Lee Murray says if you keep launching, you never actually fly. That's a good point, man. That's real good advice. Yeah, the day after I launched, man, the day after that product launch was over, I felt a little bit better. The next day, I didn't do nothing with my business, and I felt a little bit better. The next day, I didn't do nothing with my business, and I felt really good. So, all I did was play video games and hang out with my kids, man. That's all I did. Yeah, I was feeling pretty damn good by the time Friday rolled around. Yeah, man, so yeah, I think the takeaway there, man, is hey, you gotta take some time off, man. You're better when you take time away. But it's hard, it's hard when you work for yourself because no one's telling you to clock in and no one's telling you to clock out. So it's up to you when to work and when not to work. So, man, if you're like me, you start thinking, well, dude, I'm not where I want to be, so I need to work as much as possible to get where I want to be. And that's kind of that's how I was thinking, but what I learned was, hey, man, you're working too much and you're affecting your efficiency, man. You're not doing as good of a job because you're working too much. You need to back off and get some critical distance sometimes. So that's important, man. And in the future, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing that even when I don't want to. Because I always want to work, man, especially in this day and age. I got a tablet, I got an iPod, I got a phone, I got a laptop at my house. I got all this stuff to connect me with the internet. And, all it takes is to jump on there and check emails. Pretty soon I'm into like customer support, and pretty soon I'm into this and into that. Now all of a sudden I'm on Facebook and I'm doing this and I'm back into it, man. And you know what? That's not cool, man. Sometimes you got to be done with it. You got to like take the weekend off or something. So that was a big lesson for me, man. But I had to step away from it to figure that out. But yeah, man, when you guys have critical events like that where things do not work out like nothing like you thought they were going to, they just completely fail, man, I say examine your whole process, see what you did differently. I saw that I cut corners from my last launch, man. I did on my last launch that did so well, I had VSLs throughout the whole sales funnel. On the one I just did, I just stood in front of the camera and talked. I put on a polo shirt. That's not the same thing, man. That's not the same thing as doing a VSL for everything in your funnel. Not the same thing. I cut that corner because I was tired. There was other things. I won't bore you guys with it, but the point is, when I started examining everything that happened on that launch, I saw I cut corners here and there. And I know I was doing it because I was tired. And that, hey, if you're tired, you need to back off and take a rest. You can't be Superman all the time. And then I asked my top affiliates what they thought, and I kind of got the same kind of vibe from all of them. And the vibe was, two vibes, really. I got two vibes from all of them. They all said it in their own way, but it was like, hey man, product launching doesn't seem that easy to people. Product launching doesn't really seem that easy to people. Then the other one was, hey man, everybody screws up. Nobody hits every single one out of the park, So it was cool. It was really good insight, and I'm glad that I was able to reach out to them and that they all actually gave me something in return. So it was really nice to be able to ask other people their opinions and see what they had to say. So that was really good, man. But that's advice I'll give you guys. If you have a critical failure like that, if you have a critical event, examine all your processes, then reach out to your top people and see what they think, man. See what their opinions on it are. And then just kind of like look at all that data and kind of take a few days away from everything and figure out, what you think after that. Because, man, there's a big difference between being in the thick of something and then being outside of it for a couple days and then coming back and looking at it again. It looks a lot different once you've had some positivity away from it, playing some video games. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about before I get out of here and head on back home was I want to tell you guys this crazy story that happened to me today, man. So we closed on a house today, like I told you. So I wanted to go to Home Depot, or I wanted to go to Lowe's. So it wasn't Home Depot, it was Lowe's. And I wanted to get some locks for the doors, some new locks for all the doors. And so I went there and got into a conversation with the guy at Lowe's. And he said, yeah, man, I'm only here for about another week, then I'm out of here. And I said, really, man? What are you doing, man? You retiring? And he's like, nope, they're letting me go, dude. After 17 years, they're letting me go. I said, really? 17 years? Why are they letting you go? He said, well, they gave me a choice. What they said was they were eliminating all our jobs. This dude's been there for 17 years, you guys. Manager, 17 years at Lowe's, making $24 an hour. Lowe's, they decided they were going to eliminate his position and eliminate all these older guys' positions who've been there for a while and they're making good money. They're eliminating all their positions. They're going to offer them new jobs at Lowe's at like minimum wage, and they're taking away all their seniority. But they're eliminating those top level positions, right? So they had a choice. They had a year to decide. They told them in January. They could either just go ahead and terminate themselves by the end of the year, or they could take a new position at Lowe's at like minimum wage and just kind of start over. After 17 years, that's how they did that, dude. 17 years, that's what they did. Yeah, Lowe's did that. And And he said that's the exact thing that Home Depot did a couple years ago. They're just following Home Depot's footsteps. He said that Home Depot is actually a bigger company than Lowe's, and they're just kind of following Home Depot's footsteps. But the point is, you guys, there's no loyalty with companies, man. You can be at a company for 17, 20 years, and like, they will find a little loophole to screw you over, man. Now think about it. This dude was 49 years old, making $24 an hour. Do you think he had a mortgage at 49? Do you think he had kids at 49? I guarantee you he had a mortgage at 49. I guarantee you he had kids, and I guarantee you that screwed him over. Big time, man. Big time. It screwed him over. But yeah, Lowe's did that, man. Lowe's. So, you guys are out there right now and you're thinking, man, dude, internet marketing seems too risky for me. I don't think I can do it. I'm just going to stay with my nice, safe job. Let me tell you something. A lot of people would consider being a manager at Lowe's for 17 years a nice, safe job. A lot of people would consider that. That was weird. What was that? A lot of people would consider that a nice, safe job. A lot of people would say, hey, man, that's good. I'm making $24 an hour. I'm a manager. You know, it might be retail, but I'm upper echelon retail. Nah. Listen, man. There ain't no safe jobs, man. There ain't no safe jobs. You either figure out how to make money for yourself online, or you go work for someone who knows how to make money, right? You know, not just online, but you either work for yourself and figure out how to make money for yourself, or you go work for someone who knows how to make money. And that's it. And I tell you, these businesses are ruthless anymore, man. They're just ruthless. That's not ethical. You guys know it. I know it. Lowe's knows it. That guy who had to leave Lowe's knows it. It's not ethical. It's not ethical to take a cat who's been serving your company for 17 years, and all these other dudes who've been serving your company for 17, 20, 25 years, and you're like, you know what, man? Some bean counter, some pencil pusher in some office says, hey, man, you know what we could do, man? Why don't we eliminate all these jobs from these top-level dudes? Let's take them back down to zero. Let's bust them back down to minimum wage and, like, eliminate all their seniority. And then what's going to happen is we'll probably basically force them out because none of them are going to want to do that. And we'll just hire new people off the streets. And we'll eliminate tons of overhead. We'll eliminate tons of overhead with all that salary. It's going to be awesome. Dude, you know what? Some bean counter in an office got a raise for that. But you know what? That's not right. That's not ethical. And Lowe's knows it. That guy knew it. And everybody else knew it. But the problem is, I'm telling you, the problem is the global economy. All right, and I'm not trying. All right, I know I'm getting on a soapbox a little bit here, but the problem is, I'm telling you guys, it's a reaction to the global economy, point blank. I mean, it's just a reaction to global economy, man. I mean, you know, as the world shrinks, as our economy becomes very global, I mean, salaries. I mean, listen, logically, all salaries are going to end up the same everywhere in the world. I mean, it's only logical. It only makes sense, man. That's the only way you can stay competitive. You know, I mean, especially if so many jobs can be shipped overseas. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not fair, though. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, man. There's a perfect storm brewing with all this stuff. There's a perfect storm brewing. There's a lot of people out there. I'll tell you who's going to suffer. Is lower class America is who's going to suffer. Because look, man, I was lower class America, and I tell you what, I went to school and I learned if I want to make this is what was for me when I was growing up. This was a good life, right? This is what was considered you're doing good. Okay, you grow up, you raise a family, you have a good job. You take care of your family, right? You work hard and you take care of your family. And that was considered, hey, that's a good life. That's what you're supposed to do. You go to church on Sundays. You do right by your family. You have a good job. You work hard. This is good. And I'm from Ohio, right? So a good job around here is working at a factory, right? Or working at construction, right? or being a manager at a department store or something, or being maybe a nurse if you're a girl, right? Where I come from, most guys don't want to be nurses. There's a few nurses around here now, but, anyways. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a nurse, but I'm just saying, like, when I was growing up, that wasn't what people thought about, So, but the point is, that's how we all grew up, and it's like, now, it's like, that's not the truth, man. Because the thing is, when I was growing up, that wasn't everybody growing up like that, Upper class wasn't being grown up like that. They weren't growing up like that. They weren't growing up to get a job and raise a family and work hard. They were growing up, they were being raised to own businesses and have employees. That's what they were that's what they were being raised to do. Start businesses and have employees, right? Those cats are going to be fine. So the rich get richer and the poor are screwed, man. The poor are screwed because all the poor know is get a job, make money, right? That's all they know. But man, that stuff is disappearing in this new global economy. That's just the way it is, man. It's disappearing because of stuff like Lowe's, getting rid of all these old cats, bringing in new kids to take their place at like minimum wage, man, and like cutting their overhead in half because they do it. Because the money's worth more than the employees at that point, right? And, I see it from a business standpoint, but you know what? That don't make it right. That don't make it right. It's not ethical, man. I see what they're thinking from a business standpoint, but there's got to be a moral line, man. There's got to be a moral line that you shouldn't cross. That's how I feel about it, but I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong to force someone out who's been there 17 years and to say, hey, man, you can either take a new position at minimum wage and no seniority, or, you can go find another job. Good luck. Thanks for working for us for 17 years. Peace. I think it's wrong, right? But at the end of the day, man, that's not going to be into that. It's not just Lowe's, you guys. It's not just Home Depot. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's the factories. It's the department stores. It's everywhere. It's a reaction to the global economy, and it's not going anywhere. I'm scared for the future, man. I'm scared for the future. I do everything I can to try to educate people on what I do online. It's not the only way, but it's definitely one way out for people who are working jobs and they don't know what to do. They're getting screwed over, like this dude at Lowe's got screwed over. Working online is one way out. It's one way out. It's one way up, right? I'm not saying it's going to be easy to jump up social classes. It's not easy, man. The Gatsby curve, the Great Gatsby curve. You guys heard of the Great Gatsby curve? Check it out. Look it up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I probably just sound like a crazy guy rambling on to you, but this is real stuff I'm talking about. Look up the Great Gatsby curve. You tell me how easy it is to jump social classes in our economy. It's not very easy. It's difficult. I'm a person who did it, so I know it's difficult. It's not easy at all. You got all kinds of mental hang-ups and paradigm shifts to overcome to be able to do that. It's very difficult to jump social classes, right? Maybe if you win the lottery, it's not hard. Maybe it's easy if you win the lottery or something, but other than that, man, it's hard. It's very difficult to jump social classes. It's crazy, man. But anyways, man, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. I'm just kind of rambling on now, but man, I wish you guys the best this weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll be back next week. Peace, you guys.